Shohei Ohtani stole his 49th base of the season in the Dodgers win over the Marlins. We'll talk to Dave Roberts, the Dodger manager, coming up tomorrow. Jeff Passan covers the national pastime for the mothership, joins us on the program. What if Ohtani finishes 49-49?
Then he will still have one of the most remarkable seasons we've ever seen. And it's every bit as good as 50-50 to me, because we should not be so obsessed with things that end in zero. It makes no difference. 50-50, 51-51, 49-49. Who cares? It's awesome regardless of what it is. And to me, Dan, that's what we need to look at. Just the breadth of the accomplishment, not the specific number that he's landing on in the end.
I'm glad you agree with me. We like round numbers.
For some stupid reason. I like this it's a big pet peeve of mine, because I firmly believe the reason that pitchers throw less now than they used to is because we have adopted 100 as the number that they could pitch to until people start thinking their arms are going to fall off. And why? Because it has 2 zeros at the end. Is it special? No. It's one of like our ridiculous sporting culture traits that I just want to get rid of, but I know I never will, because those zeros are just so attractive. They're so pretty.
The chances for Ohtani to pitch in the postseason.
Well, you talk with people in the Dodgers organization, and they are saying it is extremely unlikely. We have gone from it's not going to happen to it's extremely unlikely. And yet I had a scout who reached out to me yesterday and sent me a couple of videos. And it was of Shohei Ohtani throwing. And in one video, he had a splitter grip. And in another video, he had a slider grip. And he said, this whole time I thought it was kind of a long shot. But then I see him going out there and throwing with his full arsenal with a lot of intent. And generally speaking, if you're doing that coming back off of Tommy John surgery or off of elbow reconstruction surgery, then you're doing so with a purpose. So I still think that at the end of the day, it probably does not happen, but I'm a lot more on board with the notion of it being a possibility than I was even a week or two ago. And the Dodgers need something. Gavin Stone is now out for the season. Tyler Glasnow is now out for the season. Bobby Miller has not pitched well. Walker Buehler, even in a good outing, walked 5 guys. Clayton Kershaw, you don't know what you're going to get at this point, and that leaves you relying on Jack Flaherty and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who spent months on the injured list. It's not a great situation for the Dodgers, but I just have a hard time, Dan, believing that they are going to put the most valuable player in all of baseball at risk long term for something that short term just may not pay the kind of dividends that would be worth it.
Talking to Jeff Passan of the mothership. When I saw your sweatshirt, I thought it said White Sucks, S-U-X.
It says Wave Sucks, as in the wave at the stadium.
I thought it was white instead of socks. White sucks.
No, I wouldn't. That would be rude. I mean,
but you spent time with the White Sox.
Yeah, they haven't been great this year. I'm glad that I went to Chicago and spent some time with them, actually, because the genesis behind that story was, okay, if the worst team in baseball history is going to exist, I kind of want to see what it's like there and want to see just how, I guess, depressing it is for the players. And I'll be honest, man, when I went there, it was not depressing. It was actually, in a way, a little bit heartening that these guys are still trying and that they still care and that they haven't given up, and that just the gravity of what they're dealing with right now, which is being the losingest team in the history of a game that goes back well over a century. We're talking 125 years almost, Dan, in the modern era of baseball, and they're going to be the worst team to ever play. It's not the sort of thing that has like waylaid them or taken them to a place where they're fighting each other. I think they just want to go out there and try and have some spirit and try and salvage this thing, this giant mess, as best they can. And I appreciate the effort. I don't appreciate the game and the skill and the quality of baseball that they're playing, but they're trying, and you got to give them something for that.
Number of teams who can win the World Series this year is what?
There are going to be 12 playoff teams, and I think 12 teams can win the World Series this year. This is I've been covering baseball, Dan, for 21 years now. I do not remember a postseason going into it where I thought it was as wide open as this year is, and that sort of started to manifest itself mid-season when suddenly I realized like every team has had a bad stretch, and not just like a week or two off. Like the Phillies were just like mediocre for a month, and I think they're probably the best team. The Dodgers, they have a great record, but their bullpen questionable. Their starting pitching really questionable. Everybody out there has a weakness, and so I'm not looking forward to making playoff predictions this year because I think this is going to be like an anti-chalk World Series. And we're also coming off one
Yeah.
in which the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks, like a 90-win team and like an 84-win team faced off, the fewest combined wins in baseball history between two World Series teams. And I could absolutely see something like that happening again.
Good to talk to you. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Dan. Thank you.
That's Jeff Passan of the Mothership, ESPN senior baseball insider.